September 5, 1972, Black September, an offshoot of the PLO, went to the Munich World Olympics and took the Israeli Olympic team hostage. What was really significant about that event was that was the first Olympics that was globally broadcast. That was the first time that they were beaming live Olympic events out to the world.
And this is ABC News, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So the ABC News team is there, and they're coordinating, all of their coverage and everything. And then this geopolitical event breaks out, and all of a sudden, these sportscasters have now become war journalists. And you watch them adapt to everything that's going on. At one point, they have to wire a microphone out of a telephone receiver so they can get the copy from David Jennings, who's on the ground. They have a studio camera, and they realize that from where they are, they can point it right at the building and get window footage. So they point the camera, they follow the story. But then they also have some ethical decisions to make, like how much do we show? What are we going to see? What are the people going to see?
Great line in the trailer where he's like, do we broadcast somebody getting shot on television? And does it take place basically in the control room?
It does essentially take place in one room. Tim Feldbaum, I think, mentioned in the interview that he watched a lot of single room boiler dramas to get the tension dialed in on this movie, which I thought was really brilliant.
And the footage that we see, is that the actual footage from...
Yes, they use a lot of the actual footage, a lot of the actual voice as well. Like when you hear Howard Cosell in the film, that's Howard Cosell.
That is so much better than having some guy doing a Howard... And right there, the terrorists have... just no.
Yeah.
But Howard Cosell could really pull that off.
Exactly. So the historical accuracy is dialed in. We've seen the Munich story before. Spielberg did a film called Munich. But that was more about the Mossad response.
That was like the aftermath.
Yes. What is really amazing about the perspective they chose in this film is that it is these sportscasters who in the blink of an eye had to become war journalists, had to become wartime reporters. And that question of what do we show, there was so many specific elements that made this drama built into this geopolitical event. For instance, one of the Israeli athletes was an expatriate American, was an American athlete, didn't get to the point he wanted to be, so he immigrated to Israel and joined their team. So there's a point where they say, are we going to show him get killed on camera? His parents are in Kansas. And there's another point in the film where things that they're showing happening live are being viewed by the terrorists on a television in the room, and so they understand what the police action outside their window looks like. So it's all these questions about what is journalism, what is too much journalism.
That's like if we were covering Tribeca and somebody tried to take over Tribeca and started holding people at gunpoint. What do you do? I mean, first you wet your pants.
Yeah, I was going to say that was
and then you run as far as you can.
Absolutely.
But to be in the box with all that happening, that's where when people start to call us journalists, I'm like, we're podcast, we're content creators. We talk about news, but we're not, I'm not Peter Jennings. I'm not, like Bryant Gumbel or Dan Rather or one of those guys. Those guys were journalists on television. For me, the reference was I want to say it was during the first Iraq War in Kuwait, where CNN was broadcasting 24/7, and you kind of wondered, were the Iraqis getting troop movements from the news? All they had to do was watch CNN, and they could target their missiles better. Where's the line? Yeah, you're covering it, but you also have to protect people's interest at heart.
I don't want to say they mined the position for drama, because a lot of it is very, very accurate. But yes, they based this off biographies and memoirs from the people who were there, the people who were in the control room, the people who were making those decisions, and it's a lot of tension. It's very, very tense.
This is the BTRP Media Network.